The heaven of limitless light. The one earlier was lesser light. This light is limitless and boundless. Above the heaven of limitless light is the heaven of light source. How do heavenly beings in the heaven of light source speak? They speak with light. This is the science of optics that is found even in televisions. In that light communicate. Heavenly beings in the heaven of light sound do not speak. It is not that they do not communicate, but they do so with words. Some Dharma masters criticize that the heavenly beings in the heaven of light sound do not speak because they have no language or words. That is why they use light to represent language and words. No, if they do not know how to speak, would they not be mute? How is that better than those who speak? Since those in the heaven of light sound speak using light, it is not useful to be mute there. I say they have language, but they do not need language with words. They use light the way we use optics to write. Something along the lines of optics, it must be that. It is not that they just speak with light and there is no language. No, to explain the Buddha Dharma, compare the Buddha Dharma with the secular Dharma so that it is clear. Some other Dharma masters say that there is no language or words in that heaven. Calling heavenly beings in the heaven of light sound music really shows how these Dharma masters do not understand. This is the second dhyana heavens. People who meditate and reach the samadhi of the second dhyana heaven, the ground of joy from samadhi, experience a state. What is that? Their breath stop. This is the state of the second dhyana heaven. Having reached the state of the second dhyana heaven does not mean your skills are most terrific. People who work hard ask yourself now, have you reached this level? Did your pulse stop? Did your breathing quit during meditation? No. If not, then work hard. If you do not, then you cannot become liberated from birth and death. There is no more birth and death at the first dhyana heaven or the second dhyana heaven. Hard work does not mean experiencing some minor states such as a vision of Dharma protecting Bodhisattvas or some others. Even if we see light during meditation, the state is still insignificant. Do not be attached. Perhaps during meditation, you begin to swing back and forth without wishing to. You do not want to move, but you do. When you do move, you cannot make it stop even if you want to. These are the 6 forms of earthquake at work, signs of the 6 senses. This is not real skill, so keep moving ahead and strive hard. Until you reach the stage of the first dhyana and the second dhyana, you cannot be lazy. Lazy and you cannot end birth and death, which makes your future quite dangerous. It is not easy to become a monk. Lazy for one day, you dig into the house. If you do not want to go to the house, then work a bit harder. You say, I feel uncomfortable as soon as I start to apply myself. It is really uncomfortable. The house are even more uncomfortable. If you want comfort now, you will be uncomfortable in the future. If you do some hard work now, you will be comfortable in the future. Count this up, and who knows how long you will be in the house. There is no leaving the unintermittent house where you suffer there all day. Why does someone end up suffering there? It is because one was very lazy as a novice. One did not work hard and did not study the Buddha Dharma, so he suffers. One can hardly be at ease in the house. The heaven of lesser purity, the heaven of limitless purity, and the heaven of universal purity. These are the heavens of the third dhyana. The first dhyana is called the ground of bliss, from living production. The second dhyana is called the ground of bliss from samadhi. And the third dhyana is called the ground of wonderful bliss from living joy. In the first dhyana, the pulse stops. In the second dhyana, the breath stops. And in the third dhyana, thoughts stop. Although the heaven of the multitudes of Brahma, the heaven of the ministers of Brahma, and the great Brahma heaven of the first dhyana heavens are already pure, but there is no light yet. Not only no light, but the lights are very dim. At the second dhyana heavens, there is light that is more pure than pure. There is another crude analogy that compares this to the floor. The heaven of the multitudes of Brahma, the heaven of the ministers of Brahma, and the great Brahma heaven are like the floor that has been swept once, but not yet waxed. Without wax, there is no shine. We are talking in worldly terms about how there is no wax or sheen. When you wax the floor, then it will shine. This is the heaven of lesser light, the heaven of limitless light, and the heaven of light sound. These are the second dhyana heavens. The third dhyana heavens, heaven of lesser light, is like a waxed floor, but it needs to be wiped to really shine. There may be some dirt or broom hair that has not been cleaned up and picked up, so there is light, but it is not clean yet. The third dhyana heavens are clean. They are the heaven of lesser purity, the heaven of limitless purity, and the heaven of universal purity. The floor is waxed and wiped until it shines with a bright sheen, and there is no dust at all. If you do not understand the states in the heavens, then you will, if you think about this metaphor of a floor. Pulse moves the blood. When our pulse stops, that is purity. If a breath stops, then there is light. At the third dhyana heavens, thoughts stop completely. Although the pulse stops at the first dhyana heavens, but there is still this thought. At the second dhyana heavens, this thought did not end either. At the third dhyana heavens, this thought stopped. He will not let one thought occur and another thought develop. That thought occurs and this thought develops. There are 90 births and deaths in one jhana for one individual. In each birth and death, there are 900 thoughts. We have so many thoughts in such a short time. At the third dhyana, thoughts stop. There is no first thought or a later thought. Here, thoughts stop. This is a third dhyana state. Not only does pulse stop, breath stop, even thoughts stop. Sit for a month and you do not know whether it has been a month. Sit for a year and you do not know that it has been a year. There is no sense of time or space. Sit and enter samadhi here does not mean death. You can come back if you want to. Your thought stops, but as you start thinking, how come I am here meditating? This thought is born, so you come back. The state of the third dhyana has no thought at all, which is purity. Thoughts are like dust, leaving you impure. While you are still breathing, there is no light to speak of. Breath stops and your light manifests. You will feel pure and there is light when your pulse stops. There is real purity to speak of when thoughts stop. These are the heaven of lesser purity, the heaven of limitless purity, and the heaven of universal purity. These are the third dhyana heavens. The third dhyana is called the ground of wonderful bliss from living joy. Leave joy behind. We think it is good to be joyous, but these should be left behind so that we are not even attached to joy. This is the wonderful function from the ground of wonderful bliss from living joy. Sutra. They came from birth of blessings heaven, the love of blessings heaven, the abundant fruit heaven, the no thought heaven, the no affliction heaven, the no heat heaven, the good views heaven, the good manifestation heaven, the ultimate form heaven, the Maheshvara heaven, and so forth up to the heaven of the station of neither thought nor non-thought. All those groups of gods, dragons, ghosts, and spirits came and gathered together. Commentary. They came from the birth of blessings heaven. What is the birth of blessings heaven? Beings in this layer of heaven have entered the causes that led to suffering and abide in extreme bliss. He does not experience any suffering and is not attached to bliss. What does it mean by he does not experience any suffering and is not attached to bliss? Although Pan stops in the first dhyana heavens, he still experiences suffering and afflictions. At the second and third dhyana heavens, suffering and afflictions have not yet ended. At the fourth dhyana heavens, the birth of blessings heaven, he does not experience any suffering. The seeds for suffering are no more. Although suffering disappears, is he happy? He is not attached to happiness, so he is not attached to bliss. He has left behind the suffering and afflictions of the first dhyana and the sadness of the second dhyana heavens. The beings in the second dhyana heavens have not yet ended their sadness. When they reach the fourth dhyana, the sadness of the second dhyana is gone. What are the causes of the suffering? They are desire. Desire is the cause of suffering. What are desires? Desires are the causes of suffering. Without desire, there is no suffering. Without lust, there would be no cause for suffering. Beings in the fourth dhyana heavens do not have lust. All the desires have severed, they vanish. The gross marks all disappear. There is a kind of pure blessings and virtue. This is a quality in the birth of blessings heaven, the first of the fourth dhyana heavens. Most people only know about the heavens, but how many? In the Buddhist sutras, there are all of the 6 desire heavens, the 3 heavens of the first dhyana, the 3 heavens of the second dhyana, and the 3 heavens of the third dhyana. And in the fourth dhyana, there are 9 heavens. The birth of blessings heaven is the first layer of the fourth dhyana heavens because his pure blessings are manifested. The love of blessings heaven, the blessings of this heaven are lovely. In this heaven, renunciation is perfected to a point that it is interpenetrating and unhindered. They can renounce what they could not renounce before, and they renounce what they can renounce, of course. They let go of what they could not let go before and let go of what they could already let go all the more. This is the perfection of renunciation. Pure in victorious understandings, he enjoys a blessing that cannot be obscured. It supersets the bounds of heaven and earth. He gets his wishes to come true and he can do as he pleases. At this time, both the suffering and blessing are left behind. There is no suffering or bliss. Although suffering and bliss have left, they do not obstruct existence of the form realm. They may enjoy the realm of existence, but they accumulate merit for another pursuit, another goal. What is that? He hopes for the states enjoyed in the 2 heavens, above the love of blessings heaven, the abundant fruit heaven, and the no thought heaven. However, the abundant fruit heaven is one of the 4 dhyana heavens, while the no thought heaven is where he takes leave. Before reaching the abundant fruit heaven, one may go to abundant fruit heaven or the no thought heaven. No thought heaven is a state of heretics, so it is easy to become diverted down the wrong path here. One can become born in the heavens and walk into the heretics' heaven still. What is the abundant fruit heaven? The abundant fruit heaven is the fruition for ordinary beings. All the 6 desire heavens are fruitions that ordinary people reach. The finest state that ordinary people can reach is the abundant fruit heaven. The abundant fruit heaven leaves the defilements of the heavens below. They enjoy boundless and limitless joy in the abundant fruit heaven. Their spiritual powers also have endless fruitions. So it is not easy to become reborn in the abundant fruit heaven. The wonderful accord is a vast amount of wonderful accord, more than that of the love of blessings heaven. They can cultivate to reach this fruit as they so wish. This is the abundant fruit heaven. The no-thought heaven. At the no-thought heaven, their thoughts cease but not forever, just 500 ends. His life is 500 ends, so he goes through life without develop one thought. But in 500 ends, he develops one thought. During those 500 ends, for 499 ends, he has no thought, but there is one end where his thoughts cease during his first half, but his thoughts occur in the last half of this end. This is no thought, where very time in his entire life is spent thinking. This heaven is totally occupied by heretics. Heretics reach this layer of heaven and think this is the ultimate heaven. He thinks that he will reach nirvana here. He stays here to cultivate, but he will still fall. This is a place where heretics abide. The no affliction heaven. Heavenly beings have no afflictions from views or thoughts. What are afflictions from views and thoughts? Views come from greed. Thoughts are discriminating opinions due to ideas not understood or not clear about. Without the delusions of view and delusions of thought, they do not have that type of heated afflictions. There is no suffering or bliss. In a state where both suffering and bliss have ended, they have no wish to fight, so their afflictions disappear. Cool and refreshed is the no affliction heaven. The no heat heaven. Heat refers to heated afflictions. That heaven is very cool, devoid of heated afflictions. The good views heaven. What does this mean? Those in this heaven enjoy views that are vast and far. They can see a long ways away. The good manifestation heaven. This is a very subtle and wonderful transformation that manifests on the joyful states. The ultimate form heaven. The heavens described above are all heavens of the form realm. This is the ultimate form heaven. The Maheshvara heaven. Maheshvara is Sanskrit that means great ease. The Maheshvara god has 8 arms, 3 heads, and rides on a great white ox. He thinks he is very much at ease. The Maheshvara heaven is also called the great heaven of ease. Among these 10 heavens described above, the no-thought heaven is where heretics and heavenly demons live, whereas the other 9 heavens are all 4th dhyana heavens. The 4th dhyana is also called the ground of purity from renouncing thoughts. Earlier we said that palm stops in the 1st dhyana, breath stops in the 2nd dhyana, thoughts stop in the 3rd dhyana, and the 4th dhyana, thoughts are renounced. The ground of purity from renouncing thoughts abandons thoughts, and so forth up to the heaven of the station of neither thought nor non-thought. The heaven of the station of neither thought nor non-thought includes the heaven of the state of boundless emptiness, the heaven of the station of boundless consciousness, the heaven of the station of nothing whatsoever, and the heaven of the station of neither thought nor non-thought. Since even consciousness is gone, it is called no non-thought. No thought is not nothing. There is still some thought, not necessarily no thought whatsoever. This is the heaven of the station of neither thought nor non-thought. All those groups of many gods, many dragons, many ghosts and spirits came and gathered together in the palace of the Trayastrimsha Heaven.